Kobe Buffkin, a guard out of Michigan. He is like everyone in this draft, as I always say. He's 19. Everyone in the basically, we could see 20 players go in this draft, Richard, who are all 19 years, or not 19, freshmen or 19, because there's 3 freshmen who are 20 at the top of the draft. But Kobe Buffkin's a guy that I don't really think was on the radar much at the beginning of the season, but it's worked his way up and it's pushed himself ahead in a lot of circles ahead of his teammate Jett Howard. So he's in the mock drafts I've looked at, he's going as high as 10, he's going as low as 26. Let me ask you this, like, when you say you're higher on him, were you looking like definite lottery? Are you going higher than 10? Like, where are you on Buffkin at the moment?
Yeah, I would take him comfortably with the 10th pick. I mean, I think he's that good. You look at somebody who is 19 years old, he really has no notable flaw. His one area you could pick apart, I guess, would be that he's not got great point guard experience. This last year was really his first year running point guard. And when you're a first year point guard and you're pretty solid, you're not getting turnovers, you're not making mistakes. It's like smooth is the right word. It's not like it's not sticking out one way or the other. I think that's pretty positive. And again, he's 19. The free throw percentage indicates the shot's real. He has a high motor. He can play defense. He can crash the board. Feel for the games there. Everything checks out for him.
So he's obviously skinny as shit. 6'4", 175 pounds. Is he a point guard in the way that Bones Hyland is a point guard? Like, is that the sort of point guard that's more combo guardy where you sort of run some stuff where Bones can do that a little bit, but probably shoots a little bit too much at times? Is that where Kobe is, or is he more of a high level passer? Because I think in general, outside of Scoot and the Thompsons at the top, the passing talent of this draft is probably a little bit lower than some other years. So where does Kobe sort of fit in with that group?
Yeah, he's not a traditional point guard by any means. He's also, I don't think he's like Bones Hyland per se. I think he's more like a very true combo guard. He's somebody who's going to play off ball a good amount. He's also going to play on ball, and when it's almost a your turn, my turn type of offense. Yep. Not like the full time, but when you look at sometimes I feel like every NBA team does it. When that happens, he's going to be able to be successful in that role. So whichever way you put him in, whether it's more traditional offense, whether it's the your turn, my turn, he's going to be able to thrive as a ball handler and just an overall guard.
So you're high on him. I am a little bit lower on him, but I am coming around to it a little bit. I do think the shot is real. I think the ball handling is pretty strong. Defensively, I do have some worries. He's got size, obviously 6'4". As nearly everyone seems to be that tall, apart from Scoot, who's also got the gigantic wingspan, which sort of makes up for it. But I guess one of the things I look at with players that are like Kobe here, that handle the ball and profile as combo guards who shoot a lot. Why is his usage only 22%? Like, a lot of these guys, it's not quite the Dalen Terry 14% level from last season of like, you're a point guard but you never do anything. Why is it that low? Is it a scheme thing? Was he not aggressive? Because it's not like the assist numbers are making up for it, where he's averaging 7 assists and setting everybody up. Is that just a function of what Michigan was doing?
Yeah, I mean, Hunter Dickinson ran the offense as a center, so the entire offense went through the post. Jett Howard took a lot of shots, being just a shooter who had way more freedom than he probably should have had. So when you have basically 24 shots going around just those two, you're pretty split. Like, you got to take what you can, and I think that's why the usage was lower than most guys in this range.
I think one of the things that I look at in the draft with a lot of these players is, I'm a big sort of take best player available sort of situation, unless it's two centers who really can't play together if you're at the top of the draft. Like, that's where I start to go, maybe don't do it. But with the guys who play the 2, the 3, the 4, even the 1 who can slide across the 2, I don't worry, because there's a lot of, you can fit these guys together in many different ways. And this is a long way of me going about it and saying, like, what sort of situation does Kobe Buffkin probably not work as well in? Like, what sort of situation would he thrive, and where, not necessarily team specific, but where sort of minimizes his talents?
Yeah, I think it's pretty much somewhere that there's too many guards in front of him. It's a heliocentric offense. I don't think he would necessarily thrive in something like that, because that's more, he has to make decisions in very, very quick offense. And I just don't think he's ready for that as a pure off-ball player. So I think anything like that would probably hurt him. Maybe some of these post-oriented ones, and that's not even a threat really, actually, now that I think about it, because I was thinking like Embiid, I don't know how well it'd fit with him, depending on if Harden comes back or not. But I think most of the teams in the range, there's only one team that it'd be kind of an awkward fit on, and that's Dallas, because they run that heliocentric offense.
Which, interesting, is pick number 10 with Dallas there at that spot. Yeah. But I think we all don't really expect Dallas to keep that pick and to move on from it. Yeah, right. So, like, is his strength in terms of shooting? We know that we feel like he's going to be a good shooter. Is it catch and shoot stuff? What's his pull up shooting off the dribble like? Rim finishing with a slender frame is there. Which one of those is the biggest strength? Which one is the biggest weakness?
Yeah, he still has to improve his off the dribble shooting. His catch and shoot's pretty good. For the year, he shot 35% on catch and shoot. It's fine. Off the dribble, 34% from three, 37.5% from two, which overall is 36%. But, it doesn't really pop, but there's enough flashes where you're like, okay, he had a few games where he really was able to beat guys off the dribble and just stop and pop. So I think there's a lot of potential in that regard.
He's an interesting player, again, someone who sort of has risen up over the second half of the season and through the draft cycle and continues to push up and impress. We're going to get back.